Picture this scenario. A company decides to spend a couple of weeks on creating their own AI model in an effort so that they could do their own photography, or so-called photography, in-house without spending the cost on models and photographers. The images, or the outcome of it, is that the images are sharp, the product is very accurate, the resolution is more than good enough, but the images still don't work.
Computers now have primary controls on
The problem is not the fact that they looked artificial. The problem was, or is, that nobody had decided how they should look. And nowhere was that more obvious than in the light. This is not another argument about whether AI is good or bad for photography. We leave that to another discussion. The more useful question would be when the camera replaces or is replaced by an image generator like artificial intelligence, what happens then to the photographer? Are photography as professional dead? Are we out of the equation? My answer is no, not necessarily. And that is, though, open for discussion, and I hope you comment on that. But I think that the job is going to change, or the tool that we use are going to change. We might become even more of image creators than we have been coming in the last 20 years. The photographer may not be this person that presses the shutter, but photographers may still be the people that make the decision how that image that is going to be created is going to look way before that image exists. In that perspective, what is photography about? Photography is about light, and in image generation, the most important thing, or one of the most important thing, is the light. And who knows light better than a professional photographer? Let's look at this decision from the company. Fairly reasonable idea to create your own AI model, save on costs, train the model on the product online and have that in a sequence, generate the advertising images internally, so that the production costs and hiring studio assistant, art directors, rental equipment, and all that cost disappear. So from the perspective of the company, it's very understandable. And technically you can say that it worked. Technically, the product appeared in the right colors, the labels were readable, the surface was clean, but the image looked wrong in the way that it did not relate to the customer. And we are seeing that more and more happening, that people are seeing AI-generated images as negative things because there is something off with those. And even though the images are polished and look very nice, there's something that is not right. The main problem here, as I see it, is that nobody made a decision, except we want this product with this model in this environment. That is just the first question of 100 to answer. So someone has to decide what that image is to communicate. Is that product cheap, or is it practical? Is it luxurious? Is it clinical and precise? Is it handmade or manufactured in masses? Is it aimed at teenagers, older people, doctors or lawyers, or what? All those questions, they form how a picture is taken, how the photographer communicates with the model or even the product, how he puts up the lighting, what environment he chooses, and that can of course be in communication with the art director, but all of these decisions are made way before we press the shutter or press the button. When companies take this in-house, they have no clue about all the process that has gone before we take the picture, while we are taking the picture, and then the process afterwards. The process afterwards can possibly be, you could say, outsourced to the computer. The knowledge before what you need, no AI is gonna do that. The sensibility or the magic that happens in the studio, if you have a good model, that happens between the model and the photographer, for example, that is no AI is gonna reproduce that. It's impossible. The fine tuning of the camera, millimeter up, millimeter to the side, light a little bit here, light a little bit there, a reflector here. How many lights are you going to use? Which type of lights are you going to use? All that comes into the equation, and a simple prompt can't deal with that. Let's face it, light is not a decoration. Photographers sometimes talk about light if it was simply a technical matter. Put a softbox here, add a reflector there, move the background half a meter to the left, but the position and character of light changes the meaning of the photo. A small hard source creates a defined shadow. It reveals texture, sharpens surface, and can make a subject feel severe or confrontational. A large source placed close to the subject produces a much softer transition from light to shadow. It can make skin feel gentler and a product more inviting. Move the light farther to the side and shape becomes more dramatic. Bring it closer to the camera axis and the image becomes flatter, cleaner, and often less interesting. Add a fill and you decide how much information remains in the shadow. Add a fill and you decide how much of the information remains in the shadow. Remove that fill and you decide what is allowed to disappear. Neither of these is automatically correct, but that is exactly the point. Someone has to make a decision, and that is usually the photographer that makes the final decision. It's not only light that the photographer decides on. We have to decide on the camera. What is the right camera for the job? What is the right lens for the camera? And then, where do we position that camera? Are we looking down at the subject? Are we meeting at eye level? Or are we looking upwards? It all depends on what we want to depict with that image. Is it symmetrical and controlled or slightly uncomfortable? Are we close enough to enter the subject space? or far enough away to observe it. For example, on a wide-angle lens. Used close to a person exaggerates the distance and changes the proportion of the face. That may be a mistake, or it may be exactly what the image needs. A longer lens creates a different relationship. It compresses space and often produces a calmer, more formal portrait. This is all decisions that photographer makes. Photographers are making these decisions continuously. Most of the time, an experienced pro photographer makes this decision without thinking, or he thinks he's not thinking, but it's kind of like in an automatic flow. That is because of his training, his knowledge, his experience. And this repeated experience is something that no AI has. AI image generator can imitate all of the visual characters of an image. It can produce soft light, it can produce hard light, it can produce Rembrandt light, it can produce rim light. You can tell it to use softbox. But what it cannot do is know why some of those choices were made and when to apply them. Without a clear direction on how the image is supposed to be in regards of light, the AI falls back to the usual pattern. If you ask an AI for a professional portrait, you will often get some version of visual average. Warm skin, soft background, shallow depth of field, a wake cinematic glow, and then of contrast so that it feels finished. Technically, there may be, you could say, nothing wrong with it, but it's not special. There is no specialty about it. It's not unique in any way. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look like someone deliberately did the lighting setup. And that is one of the most recognizable AI look of them all. Not that there's extra fingers or melted text or impossible reflection. A picture assembled from familiar visual signs without a strong reason for them ever to be there. Now, the Q word these days, and I see it quite a lot on all kinds of videos and here and there, is make it cinematic. That is idiotic. That is basically idiotic. What is cinematic? It's not a light plan. This is why so many of the prompts out there look generic and like any other result, because cinematic doesn't describe a particle arrangement of light. It doesn't. I mean, you can have a comedy, you can have a horror film, you can have a perfume advertisement, interrogation scene, all can be cinematic, but with totally different light, absolutely totally different light. So that word says nothing. Tell the AI where the key light is, tell it where the reflector is, tell it where the, you could say the backlight is, how far from the source the light is. Are you using softbox? Are you using beauty light? What is the intention with the picture, and so on. all these small details that we photographers may have taken for granted because it's in our muscle memory. We put the light here either on the left side or the right side, the reflector is here, or we put a softbox here, umbrella, reversed umbrella here. We've got one light on the background, it's a grey background. We have the light behind the subject because we want like the vignette in the corner and the light fading out, cutting out the model from the background. Or we take an advertisement and we use 8 to 10 lights to put spot here, spot there, rim there, and so on. All of this has become, in a way, kind of a muscle memory that we do basically without thinking, based on the product that we are dealing with. Is it a human? Is it a product, a dead thing? What it is for. All of this is basically automatic in the head of, not only the head, but head of body of the photographer. It's not inside an AI. And artificial intelligence can't get this out unless somebody with that knowledge tells it to do so. An artificial intelligence can't get this out or create that image without somebody with this knowledge to prompt it in the right way. Otherwise, it just creates average garbage. So this is my basic point here. The knowledge of photographers is not worthless. This is where I think most photographers misunderstand what is happening. They look at AI and see a machine that can generate something that resembles a photograph without a camera, without a studio, or even without a physical subject. From that, they conclude that everything that they have learned and trained for so many years has become worthless. Operating the camera was never the profession. The camera was an instrument. There's not a single camera, I think, or from single camera manufacturer in the world that I haven't used, basically because I used cameras depending on project that I was working on. That defined what camera I used. I didn't define anything I did based on the camera that I owned. I based it on the camera I needed to do the job. Same goes with lights. And that is part of being a professional photographer. You don't stick to one thing, you stick to what makes the picture, what it takes to do the job. And that is the thing that is changing. We may not in the future be operating a camera, but the knowledge inside our head is still there. We know what people want. We know whether the model should turn millimeter to the side, 2 millimeters. Should we move the light a little bit back? Should we fill it a little bit? And this is actually worth something today. I will talk about it probably in another video, how I think the profession is gonna change, because some photographers are gonna survive, some are not. But we could be the controller still. We could be the image makers still. We don't have to fear the AI. AI has been in photography for the past 15 years at least, in one way or another. Just take sky replacement, for example. That is pure AI. So we could embrace it. We could use it in our advantage in quite many ways, and probably more ways than most photographers realize. So will product photographers become prompt engineers? Yeah, some will. Most likely, not sure that prompt engineer is the best description. Image professionals or image directors. We have had in the, for example, advertising agents world, we've had art directors and photographer and art director quarrel quite a lot, but they usually, if they're good, both of them, they work together. Now there will be where the photographer, instead of lining up the camera, lining up the lights, and then hit the button, he will actually line up the camera, he will line up the lights, he will then hit enter instead of having that physical camera, because this knowledge is not going away, and the knowledge of light is needed. Eventually, AI may become better at interpreting light. It may be, maybe it becomes more consistent, more controllable, and more capable of maintaining visual language across an entire campaign. I hope the day comes that we can create a character and it will stay consistent between shots, which is one of the problems that we have. Humans, they stay fairly consistent between jobs. Still a problem within the AI world. Even though we have this progress within artificial intelligence, the need for someone that knows the language that is needed to create an image, there will be a need for such a person. As I say, the camera, that wasn't the important skill. The knowledge of light and setup of an interaction with people, that was the job of photographers before AI, and it will be the job of photographers after AI. There may be change in the way we work a little bit, there may be changes in the equipment we are using, but creating the image in the way that, or based on decisions, that is not going to change. Without decisions, there is only average. I don't know how much you've thought about it, whether you think this is all interesting or not, but I'm starting to look into. I'm kind of a nerd here. I'm interested in the artificial intelligence and the effects on it, especially on photography. I've made, I will be making an other video that looks at this basically same problem from a totally different perspective. So if you like what I did here in this video, shoot me a comment. If you disliked it, shoot me still a comment. This is something that I haven't seen discussed enough now on the internet, especially here on YouTube. I will be coming up with a lot of material in the coming months, so if you find anything of what I'm doing interesting, subscribe and stay tuned. See you soon.
Computers now have primary controls on sound.